Hey, my name is Nunu. Welcome to Nunu InvestMind. So let's start. Doing what everyone calls responsible is actually the most dangerous thing you can do for your future. You go to work, you save the recommended 10% of your income, and you buy the home your parents said was a great investment. You feel safe because you are doing exactly what society expects. This is the minimum effort trap. It is a financial script designed for an economy that no longer exists. While it feels comfortable today, the math shows that doing just enough is a polite way to be broke at 70. To understand why, let's look at two people, Nina and Ian. They both earn roughly $60,000 a year. Nina follows the conventional playbook to the letter. She bought a house at 28, drives a standard SUV with a $687 monthly payment, and saves exactly 10% for her retirement. To the outside world, Nina looks successful. She is doing just enough to be considered a responsible adult. Ian, on the other hand, ignores the standard advice. He rents his apartment, drives a used car he bought with cash, and saves 35% of his income. From the outside, Ian looks like he is struggling or being overly cheap. But the gap between their futures is staggering. Over 30 years, Ian will end up with $2.2 million more than Nina. The difference isn't their salary. It's the fact that Nina fell for the minimum effort traps that most people never question. The first trap is the 10% savings rule. Every financial article and bank advertisement tells you that saving 10% is a real commitment. It sounds like a plan until you run the actual numbers. On a median U.S. household income of $83,000, saving 10% means you are putting away roughly $8,000 a year. If you do this for 30 years at an 8% return, you end up with about $1 million. This sounds fine until you realize that under the standard 4% withdrawal rule, that million only generates $41,000 a year in income. Since the average American household currently spends $77,000 a year, doing just enough leaves you with a $36,000 annual shortfall. Following the 10% rule is like trying to lose weight by drinking 2.5 sodas a day instead of 3. It is technically progress, but it is categorically insufficient to change your life. Mathematically, a 10% savings rate takes 51 years to reach financial independence. If you start at 25, you are reaching freedom at 76. By contrast, someone who pushes past the minimum and saves 50% can reach independence in just 17 years. The minimum effort isn't a safety net. It's a lifetime sentence to a desk you can't afford to leave. The second trap is the minimum effort house purchase. Most people buy a home because they were told renting is throwing money away. This is the most durable piece of financial advice in the country, but in 2026, it is often mathematically wrong. Across the 100 largest U.S. metros, buying a home now costs 57% more per month than renting a similar property. When you buy a $450,000 home at a 6.5% interest rate, you aren't just building equity. You are signing a contract to pay the bank $458,000 in interest alone over 30 years. For the first 5 years of that mortgage, almost all of your money goes to interest, not to your principal. You are also responsible for property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs that run 1 to 2% of the home's value every year. On a $450,000 home, that is up to $9,000 a year just to prevent the asset from falling apart. People call this building wealth, but for the first decade, it is overwhelmingly a wealth transfer from you to the bank. When you stretch your budget to buy the house everyone expects you to have, you lose your liquidity and your ability to take career risks. You become house poor, which is a form of weakness that makes you unable to move for better opportunities. The third trap is the average car payment. The average new car payment has hit $767 a month. This is for a regular car for a regular person. Dealerships have stopped talking about the price of the car and started asking what monthly payment you are comfortable with. The moment you answer that, you have stopped thinking about the price and started thinking about a number the dealer chose for you. A $45,000 car loses 20% of its value the day you drive it home. By year 5, most people owe more than the car is worth. Most people just roll that debt into a new loan and restart the clock. This is not a car purchase. It is a subscription to permanent debt where the product loses value every month. If you took that same $700 a month and invested it in a simple index fund for 30 years, it would grow to approximately $1.58 million. Most people choose the heated seats and the panoramic sunroof of an average car over $1.5 million in future wealth. They do it because having a new car is the minimum effort requirement to look successful in their neighborhood. The fourth trap is the silent drain of fees. Most people hire a financial advisor who charges a 1% fee because it feels responsible to have a professional look after their money. But a 1% fee on a $500,000 portfolio growing over 30 years can consume nearly $934,000 in wealth you never get to see. You are paying a premium for a service where 94% of professionals actually perform worse than a simple, low-cost index fund. The industry has convinced millions of intelligent people to pay for statistically inferior results, and they've done it so elegantly that you feel prudent for doing it. This minimum effort playbook is not a public service. It is a business model designed by people who get paid when you do exactly what everyone else is doing. The bank profits when you buy the house. The dealer profits when you finance the car. The advisor profits from your fees. None of these people profit when you drive a paid-off car, rent strategically, and buy index funds with a 0.04% fee. The unconventional path looks like deprivation from the outside, but it is actually the path with the least risk. The person with the $767 car payment and the stretched mortgage is the one taking the real gamble. To escape the trap, you have to move through the levels of savings and change your identity. At the zero level, money is a constant source of anxiety. Every dollar you earn is spoken for before it even hits your account. A $400 car repair is a full-blown financial crisis. But when you move past the minimum and save your first $1,000, something changes. It isn't about the amount. It is proof that you can hold capital. You've found a gap in the system, and you've started to build a machine. By the time you reach $31,000 in savings, money stops being an emergency and starts being a tool. You gain the power to walk out of a bad job negotiation because you have the cushion to walk away. Your capital starts earning its own income, about $1,400 a year, without you touching it. You are no longer just a manager of cash flow. You are an owner of capital. At $210,000, your portfolio can return $14,000 in a single year. That is 6 weeks of your salary produced by your money while you were asleep. When you reach $740,000, compound growth often does more work than your monthly contributions. Finally, at $1.4 million, your labor becomes entirely optional. You wake up without an alarm for the first time in a decade. This level of freedom is not about a big celebration. It feels unexpectedly quiet. The urgency and the drama are gone, and the machine you built is now running without your effort. Most people never reach these levels because they are too focused on the visible markers of success. They compete with what they can see, the neighbor's car or the coworker's kitchen renovation. But you cannot see someone's brokerage balance, and you cannot see their credit card debt. We are culturally conditioned to spend the top 10% of our financial lives to impress people who aren't even looking. The gap between Nana and Ian, the $2.2 million difference, is the price of doing just enough. It is the cost of following a script that was written for a world that has disappeared. Building real wealth is not about how much you earn. It is about the structure of your life and your willingness to be unconventional. It means prioritizing your future time over your current status. The choice is yours. You can continue to follow the playbook that everyone calls responsible and end up with a $36,000 annual shortfall in retirement. Or you can decide that your freedom is worth more than the panoramic sunroof and the 1% advisor fee. Financial independence is not a fantasy. It is a mathematical timeline. The only question is how much of your future you are willing to trade for the comfort of doing just enough today. Real wealth is the silence of a Tuesday night when your money is working for you and you no longer have to work for it. Like or subscribe.